before we get to the epic news today for Tesla. Remember Mary B.S. Barra, on screen now, CEO of Government Motors, who led and matters, electrified the whole industry? You did it, Mary. Remember her? In collusion with the corrupt former President of the United States, Joe Biden, stealing Tesla's valor at the Electric Vehicle Summit, which conspicuously absent from the attendees was Tesla, snubbed from the EV Summit. Remember this? Well, Mary B.S. Barra living up to her moniker once again today. Check this out via Tesla Radio Next. Government Motors CEO Mary B.S. Barra said to Andrew Sorkin at the New York Crimes Dealbook Summit that she pulled President Biden aside and said Tesla CEO Elon Musk deserved credit for EVs. Quote, "He was crediting me, and I said, actually, I think a lot of that credit goes to Elon and Tesla." Barra said, "You know me, Andrew. I don't want to take credit for things." God, this is rich. Now, I'm sure everyone's seen the clip of Biden stealing Tesla's valor, falsely crediting GM, and Mary was electrifying the whole industry. You let it matters. I'm serious, Mary. You know that whole thing, right? I said at the time how outrageous this was, and the correct and only acceptable response from Mary Barra, the GM CEO, would have been to say publicly, "Well, I appreciate the sentiment. Thank you, Joe. But actually, I think we do need to give the credit to Tesla. They've really driven the whole industry toward electrification. So I appreciate the sentiment. Thank you. But let's be real here." That's all she needed to do to redeem herself. That's what somebody with a spine would have said, whether or not they don't like taking credit. That's irrelevant. Anybody with integrity would have immediately taken the first opportunity in public to say, well, thank you, but actually, let's give the credit where it's deserved. That's to Tesla. But thank you anyway. But no public statement, nothing. And then years later, now, I'm not suggesting that she didn't privately pull the decaying lettuce leaf known as Joe Biden aside and say, look, buddy, that was a little bit much. I think you probably should have given a bit of credit to Tesla there, mate. I'm not saying that didn't happen. I'm sure it probably did. But to not have said anything public, to not have corrected the record immediately, pretty wretched, if you ask me. I will add that Mary B.S. Barra, who led and matters, the very same Mary B.S. Barra, was a regular poster on Twitter prior to Elon Musk's acquisition. Here's a post, October 27th, 2022. 2 days earlier, another post. The same day, another post. The same day, another post. The same day, another post. I think you get the picture. She was a consistent, regular poster on X. Day after day, regular posts, an average at least one a day, sometimes quite a few more than that. Does anyone remember the rough date of Elon Musk's acquisition of Twitter, now X? Does anyone remember roughly when that occurred? I'm just trying to refresh my memory here. October 27th, 2022. Let's see. She's posting regularly on the 20th of October, the 21st of October, multiple times, the 22nd of October, the 25th of October, 2 days prior to Musk acquiring the platform, the 25th of October again, and again, and again. Oh, by the way, just to be clear, these are converted to Australian dates. So technically, this is actually US date, the 26th of October. So the day before Elon Musk acquires Twitter, she posts, and then what happens? The very next time, she posts on X after it's acquired by Musk, June 9th, 2023. After posting near daily, consistently, regularly on Twitter, Musk acquires the platform and suddenly radio silence. And why did she post? What brought her back? Being forced by Elon Musk to make an announcement that Tesla would allow GM to access some of their supercharging network and use Tesla's North American charging standard adapter in their electric vehicles. Part of that agreement was Musk forcing her to announce this on X. That's the only thing that brought her back to this platform. Mary is a politician in CEO's clothing. A serpent. Just remember, folks, don't judge people by what they say, but what they do. Like steal Tesla's valor and then make no correction on the record. Now, the big news for Tesla in a moment, but I wanted to share this via Holmars on X. Absolutely hilarious. He writes, CNBS now giving tutorials on how to short Tesla via put options. Their traders are in for a nasty shock. CNBS posting on X. Tesla faces many challenges heading into the new year, using options to make money on potential declines. Now, look, I've got a spoiler for you guys, in case you don't know. There's this thing, it's called the Wall Street fee machine. The entire finance media, all of it, print, online, television, cable, you name it, the whole thing is actually a gigantic trap. Its sole purpose to generate activity because activity equals fees, commissions, transactions, purchases, sales. Without a bunch of bipolar, panicky, buy this, sell this, do this, don't do this, change this, sell this, lock in your profit. Without any activity, no one makes any money and the whole thing implodes. The Wall Street fee machine, including CNBS, is a self-flating entity. I challenge you, watch half an hour of CNBS one day and consider how many times they are suggesting to their viewers to engage in a transaction that will make a fee for somebody or many people along the way as part of the Wall Street fee machine. That's all they do. Attract eyeballs, generate activity, make money for yourself, your friends, everyone in the industry. Creating meaningful financial returns over the long term, investing is actually extremely simple. You ready? If you buy and hold over the very long term companies with a phenomenal future roadmap, great track record of execution, you tend to do okay. But if everyone invested like that, no one would be making fees and commissions on all these purchases and sales, the options wouldn't happen. I wonder what the percentage of coverage, content, articles from CNBS that says investors who don't try to time the market actually tend to outperform it. The buy and hold strategy is a long-term winner. History has demonstrated this time and time again. What's the percentage of ADD, bipolar, insane, hyperactivity, incentivizing people to buy, sell, do this, versus buy, hold over long term, don't trade in and out, you'll make a much greater return. And now check this out. Vlad the stock impaler of Robinhood, if you know, you know, has just provided proof of something that some of us already knew. And that is that the average Tesla stock investor has an absolutely massive brain. You thought I was going to say something else, didn't you? But you already knew that. We also know that the average Tesla investor has a massive cock. Yeah, I actually said that. You didn't think I was going to say that, but we also know that's true. But it turns out that the average Tesla stock investor also has a massive portfolio. Check this out. Vlad posts, welcome to Robinhood app. To all the Tesla shareholders who transferred more than $1.4 billion of Tesla stock to Robinhood. That, by the way, was to take advantage of a 2% bonus. E.g., you transfer $1 million of Tesla, you get an extra 2%, so 20 grand, not bad. With an average account size, a whopping size I might add, with an average account size of over $500,000. I mean, massive. Now, keep in mind, this is the average. It's obviously going to be skewed upward by the absolute whales. But just think about this. Now, I guess if we're being technical here, maybe this $500,000 account size isn't 100% all in on Tesla stock. Maybe not everyone is as smart and or insane as we are. However, the fact that Vlad has specifically posted this, welcome to Robinhood, to all the Tesla shareholders who transferred more than $1.4 billion to Robinhood, seems to me to imply $1.4 billion of Tesla stock transferred. Also worth noting that he's explicitly called this out. I didn't see any other posts from Vlad for any other shareholders of any other companies having transferred X amount of shares over to Robinhood. But let's pretend that it's definitely $500,000 in Tesla stock. It's more fun that way. Maybe they're only 99% all in on Tesla. $500,000 in Tesla, the average account size that moved over to Robinhood. Therefore, an average bonus of about 10 grand. Now, I have a theory. My theory is that this average $500,000, actually in excess of $500,000 of Tesla stock that moved over to Robinhood recently, is most likely on average the result of people who purchased a lot less than $500,000 of Tesla stock and then held for a number of years. But you know what's wild? If these Tesla shareholders average account size in excess of $500,000 in Tesla stock, but we'll round it down and say it's just only a mere $500,000. If these investors simply hold on to their Tesla stock and Elon Musk achieves all of the market capitalizations in the 2025 CEO Performance Award, which, by the way, would be the third CEO Performance Award, the first two of which he absolutely hit out of the fucking park, much sooner than required as well. So he's 2 from 2 so far. If he does this, it'll be 3 from 3. If he hits the final market capitalization tranche, each of those accounts, ready? $3 million. Speaking of, Tesla stock up today, just over 4.20% as I record this, not far off $450 per share. Perhaps it has something to do with this via Politico. After AI push, Trump administration is now looking to robots. 5 months after releasing a plan to accelerate the development of artificial intelligence, the Trump administration is turning to robots. I kind of feel like I saw this coming. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick has been meeting with robotics industry CEOs and is, quote, all in on accelerating the industry's development, according to 3 people familiar with the discussions who leaked this information anonymously. The administration is considering issuing an executive order on robotics next year, according to 2 of the people. A Department of Commerce spokesperson said, quote, "We are committed to robotics and advanced manufacturing because they are central to bringing critical production back to the United States." Oh, music to my ears as a Tesla investor. But again, I saw this coming a mile away. Manufacturing-friendly administration, wanting to create jobs. Tesla, huge manufacturer, employs over 100,000 people, going to be growing rapidly during the Trump administration, the full 4-year term, and then beyond that as well. Shout out to the leading potential candidate for 28, JD Vance, although a lot can happen between now and then. What's good for the US is good for Tesla, but in particular, the timing couldn't have been better. Job-friendly, manufacturing-friendly, innovation-friendly, AI-friendly, robotic-friendly administration, doing whatever it takes to incentivize mass production in the US, manufacturing in the US, robots. This is just so good for Tesla investors. The Department of Transportation, interestingly, is also preparing to announce a robotics working group, possibly before the end of the year, according to one person familiar with the planning. So, Department of Transportation, robotics. Did you know that self-driving cars are robots on wheels? This may have implications for autonomy, not just humanoid robots. There's growing interest on Capitol Hill as well. A Republican amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act would have created a National Robotics Commission. The amendment was not included in the bill. Other legislative efforts are underway. The flurry of activity suggests robotics is emerging as the next major front in America's race against China. It's the latest example of how the Trump administration is embracing industrial policy in a bid to compete against Beijing in critical sectors such as AI. But promoting the spread of robotics also threatens to undermine one of Trump's chief goals, reviving the US manufacturing workforce. The article continues, a general purpose humanoid sounds like science fiction, but advances in artificial intelligence are enabling human-like robots to take on increasingly sophisticated work by processing more data quickly. Yeah, bro, we know. Skipping ahead a little bit, Goldman Sachs estimates the global market for humanoids could reach $38 billion by 2035. If only we could have figured out that the Trump administration would be incredibly positive for any companies wishing to produce any robots, including robots on wheels, autonomous vehicles at massive scale in the US, and also humanoid robots. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has been part of my daily health protocol for almost half a decade. It's packed full of vitamins and minerals and helps me fill in nutritional gaps while supporting energy, digestion, and immune function. It also has prebiotics and probiotics to promote gut health. I take my health very seriously, and so should you. Try AG1 today by visiting drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment and enjoy a free welcome kit with vitamin D3 plus K2 and AG1 travel packs. That's drinkag1.com/SMR.